Mazel morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. I'm sitting here with the sixth and unrealized member of the Jackson 5, Ben Soffer.
Oh, shit. I was trying to think of a Jackson 5 song that I could sing.
Think.
Just give me one. Just give me one.
Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your arms?
Oh, baby, I'd like to let you go, baby. You think I could do it?
Yeah, A, B, C.
Easy as 1, 2, 3. Ooh,
yes.
That's good. Really good.
Yes.
Will you be my manager? Will you book me on gigs? You will. You'll throw me out there?
A small cut of 45%.
Yeah, I was going to say, you strike me as a guy that's going to take a hefty fee, but you'll do it. You'll do it for the sake of my career. Josh, you look wonderful as always. I'm really liking this beautiful white shirt that you're wearing. We're here.
Thank you.
We're here in New York. It's 87 degrees, boiling outside. Came into this room. It was boiling hot inside. Sometime within the last 30 minutes, they have put the air conditioner on 40 degrees, and my teeth are literally chattering, and I feel like I'm actively getting pneumonia.
What is this the time where you start to hate New York, love it, or nothing changes?
This is the time where whenever I'm inside of a building, I hate New York. I hate it. I love being outside. I love going to the park. We're big park goers. Did you frequent Central Park when you lived in the city?
I would say the normal amount for most New Yorkers.
I think that Central Park, if it's possible, is severely underrated. I think that people do not appreciate the park, and they do not go to the park to use it for whatever they want. You want to go for a run, a bike ride, play volleyball, do those little motorized sailboats, see a horse and wish that they were somewhere not in Central Park, lay on the lawn, take your dog. Central Park is fantastic. So I bring it up because on a warm weather day, you go to the park, you go by the river, the concrete, walking in the streets. Now's the time where you want to get the fuck out.
You got to get out of that city.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're going to the Hamptons in July, as bougie as that sounds. But,
for a while?
I think we're going for a month. Yeah. Get out of Dodge.
Wow. Things are going well for you guys.
Yeah. Things are, things are what they are. Things are what they are.
Will you, what are we going to do for podcasting out there?
Oh, we're going to set up a studio. Have no fear.
Okay,
we're going to set up a beautiful remote studio the same way that we currently have a remote studio. I don't know if our listeners can tell that we're in different places because we do such an unbelievable job over La Zoom. But yeah,
the Good Guys live from Sag Harbor, the Good Guys live from Amagansett.
Come down. By the way, I was in Chicago last week, and I think we have more fans in Chicago than we do in New York.
I just love the Midwest.
I love it too. And I'm just saying, if we do end up doing a Good Guys live show, I'm pushing Chicago to the top of the list.
Chicago is big city vibes with Midwest people.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I didn't get a chance to try any of the wonderful pizza. And the great Illuminatis did actually reach out offering to give me some pizza. I just didn't have any time. But the food there, the food scene looks amazing.
It's amazing. And Chicago is an amazing city because it literally looks like Gotham. It looks like it's from a comic book. And do you ever, and this is going to make our wives totally quietly resent us. You ever think about, we married two coastal gals, two good coastal gals. But what if we met our Midwest queens? A girl from Ohio, a girl from Milwaukee, a girl from Chicago. And what would our life be then? A lot of casseroles.
And I think life would be terrible because
summer on the lake,
because we need life with our beautiful wives. But I think we should each get houses in the Midwest with them. How about that? How about we just get a nice share house on Lake Michigan?
Lake Michigan, great. It's massive.
Massive. Gorgeous. But yeah,
sure.
the Southern hospitality, the Southern woman, the Southern man, the South in general, all I got to say, fantastic. I love the Midwest, South, that whole, everything but New York and LA. Everybody is just better everywhere else.
I love it. It's America Kana, babe. Whenever I do one of my college gigs, I go the first stop. Guess where my first stop is?
Chicago.
No. I'm saying like once I get to these random, tier 2 cities with respect, when I get to St. Louis, when I get to Iowa City, when I'm going
where do
Raleigh,
you go first?
Where do I go first? I get off the plane between my plane and the hotel.
Denny's.
Incorrect. It's a gas station, but a nice one. Because you have these marquee gas stations in these towns, right? I go in, first of all, I want to see what's local. Do they have a local potato chip manufacturer? Do they have a local candy bar that you can only get in Des Moines? And then I'm going to stock up on primes, right?
I love a gas station. And
me too.
It's funny that you bring this up. New York City in particular has a huge gas station problem. Huge.
They don't exist.
They don't exist. And I guess one could say that we have so many bodegas, a bodega on every corner, that does make up for the lack of the gas station. But I do absolutely love a beautiful gas station. A Wawa. Have you been to a Wawa?
Oh, babe, a Wawa's out of control we just had the great Miss Pat on in the great state of Georgia. They have like these chains of gas stations that you could live in.
Unbelievable. It's the dream. It's the dream. You pop in there. There was a gas station upstate New York. We went during COVID. We stayed in like the upstate New York area for like 8 weeks. And there was this gas station where I swear to God, freshly made pizza to order. You order it 5 minutes, you get a nice thin crust pie. They had fresh vegetables. It was basically like a small little supermarket. It's a complete game changer when you have a beautiful gas station.
A gas station. I just like a local mart. I have a supermarket about 0.8 miles away from my house. So most nights I like to get some steps in, keep the thoughts at bay, try to exhaust myself so I fall asleep. So at least I have an 8-hour reprieve for my brain. I'm fine. And I'll walk and listen to podcasts or talk to a buddy, and I'll walk to the local supermarket and I'll just peruse. And I'll pick up like a item, and I feel so Parisian. And it is the trashiest, most white trash American supermarket you could ever go to. But I might as well be in Paris.
Have you ever gotten lost with time in a supermarket?
Sure.
I will go into a supermarket. It's a fatal flaw of mine. You know that I pace when I take phone calls. And I could just be in the supermarket for 45 minutes on a call and have picked up nothing.
Yeah.
I sometimes think to myself, do these people think I'm crazy that work in this supermarket? And do they think that I'm here to like rob it or something? Because I've been in the supermarket for 40 minutes and I haven't picked up one single item. And then I'll hang up my call. I'll do my grocery shopping. It's a flaw of mine.
I just need somewhere to walk and someone to talk to.
Yes.
And I'll be at 30,000 steps. No problem. And I'll tell you, recently I was in Vancouver working, and I had to go out 2 days early to do wardrobe and makeup and hair and all kind of the preparation stuff, costume fittings. And between those 2 days, because I was alone, I was in the city that I love. I've lived there for over a year with my family, and I know the places. It's a gorgeous walking city. I put in 59,000 steps in 2 days.
Wow. 59,000?
Yeah.
Are your knees okay? That's kind of fucked up.
That's a marathon in 2 days.
That's kind of fucked up. That's like a lot.
But is it?
Yeah, it's too much.
For a winner? For a straight hustler?
It's too much. I don't like it. We need longevity, Josh. I need you for a long time, not a good time. 59,000 is too much.
I'm in it for a long time, not a good time. And I think that describes us. I just want to stay around and be miserable.
I just want to be there. Just like, what are you nutsing till I'm 150, complaining about everything around me.
My goal is long and horrible. But that's
the name of the episode, by the way. Here for a long time, not a good one.
Yeah. Brilliant. Wonderful work. And You know what? I'm scared to admit it because I hope my wife's not listening. And weirdly, she started to listen to this podcast because it must be really good because she tries to steer clear of anything I do professionally. But I was working for 2 days in Vancouver, and it was 2 days of prep, and Daddy got to work. And I just said, you know what? Usually I'm like eating my heart out whenever I go on these trips. I like rush back. I'll take the red eye out and I'll take the first flight back like 6 a.m. the next day. And I miss my family so much and I feel so guilty. But you know what? I said, no. This time I'm going to enjoy. This time I'm going to have a good time. And I did. I had the greatest 4 days. Now, granted, the 2 days of working were fabulous because it was like on a great show with like great actors and an honor to be a part of it. But
it's a great show, folks. You're going to be unbelievably excited. Can't spoil it. Can't. I'm under NDA, but it's a great show.
No spoilers. Thank you. But I had a fabulous time. I felt like the Canadian Carrie Bradshaw traipsing around those streets of Vancouver looking for my Mrs. Big.
How many cigarettes did you smoke while you were in Vancouver?
Oh, well, in Canada, they call them darts, which is fucking sick.
Sick.
So, like, you're hanging out with a Canadian guy and they'd be like, you want to fucking rip a dart, bro? And,
how many darts you ripping?
I didn't.
No darts?
I sucked down Zins and it's funny. I went to go buy Zin in Vancouver, and I guess in Canada they don't have them, or they're just coming on the scene. And then so I went into a cigar store there, a tobacco store, and I was like, "Do you guys sell Zin?" Like thinking it's like just like an average smoke shop. And he goes, "No." He's like, we don't even have them. He's like, "Why? Do you have them on you? Can I see one?" It's like, Jack, this is Zin.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Mint Mobile.
You know, my favorite spring cleaning takeaway is the post-clean clarity you get. Wow. How have I been living like this? It's kind of like when you find out that you've been paying a fortune for wireless when Mint Mobile has phone plans for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Wow. How have I been affording this? It's time to switch to Mint Mobile and get unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month.
The quality of Mint Mobile, through the roof. So much better than these other providers. Mint Mobile is a good price, but also a great quality product. It is fantastic.
Look, we all have legacy wireless providers. We're used to it. We've been doing it since you had a flippin' beeper when you were 10 years old. But you know what? You're overpaying for something that just doesn't have to be. Look, with Mint Mobile, they're going to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. So I know you're thinking, where's the catch? Well, all plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Heard of it? To get this new customer offer and get your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/goodguys. That's mintmobile.com/goodguys. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/goodguys. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
This is what Canada does. Canada takes the same thing. I only know it because of alcohol. They take alcohol, tobacco, all of those products, and the government sells them. So until the government is able to make money off them, you're not going to see them there. That's crazy that they don't have any Zin. The Canadians would love Zin. Zin, eh?
Zin, eh? Hold on, I'm going to cut this part out, but let me see. I feel like it's manufactured no, it's made in Virginia. Okay, never mind.
By the way, that tracks that Zin's made in Virginia.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was like, is this in Canada? But yeah, it was funny because the guy said to me, he's like, yeah, we're not allowed to have Zin because they say it's too addictive. I said, sir, you're a tobacco store. I thought that was so odd.
Sir, you are selling perhaps the most addictive substance ever.
And they also, I always go to cigar stores in Canada, and I hope I don't get stopped at the border now, but because we have an embargo with Cuba, but they'll have like really good Cuban cigars in Canada because they don't have an embargo. So a lot of times I'll be like, oh, I'll smoke a Cuban while I'm here because I can't get them in America because I follow the rules. And but there's such a tax that they didn't have the brand that I like, but I couldn't justify it.
I did not know that you were a cigar smoker. I am now picturing you in a beautiful red velvet robe, nice gold trim, fat cigar, perhaps a large Sprite.
Oh man, a Sprite I could do anytime because Sprites are zesty. But yeah, there's something respectable and very stately about a nice stogie. You smoke a stick?
I wish more than anything that I could be the cigar guy. You know, God, would that be fun? I have a difficult time stomaching them most of the time. Now, over the years, I have learned how to properly smoke them. Fun story, the first time I ever smoked a cigar. Very, very small cigar shop, forget the name, but famous in New York City. Probably 200 square feet. Really small, couple of couches. They bring out anything, and you smoke it inside. What'd you say?
Is it the Havana Room? Is it on Madison or Fifth Avenue?
No, downtown. I've since been to those. Those are great.
Yeah.
Not Monte Carlo, the Club Macanudo,
Cristo.
the places uptown are awesome. But first time I went downtown, and I had no idea that you weren't supposed to inhale them. The only thing I had ever smoked in my life was a little bit of marijuana and a little bit of a cigarette. So I literally took an entire cigar straight to my chest and ran outside and projectile vomited all over the street. Like absolutely miserable. So I took some time off from cigars there, but I do like cigars when I smoke them and don't inhale them. I love that little mouth tingle. I love that little head high. I prefer a thinner cigar. I think they call them cigarellos. Is that what they call them?
Yeah, a Swisher Sweet, an Optimo, a Dutch Master.
Oh, okay. So you're very learned on them, but I like a smaller, thinner, lighter. I'm not a dark guy.
Well, yeah, look, we could get you hooked up with they call them breakfast cigars, which are just nice, light, smaller, easier smokes. But then those, like the Optimos, the Swishers, the Dutch Masters, like those are, 85-cent cigars, usually in a pack of 5, or you can get like a single at the bodega. But to me, I'm like, do these only exist to make blunts? I'm like, because I just don't know a lot of people who are like, I could really go for a cherry Swisher.
I have also taken what's the classic name of a blunt? Like what's the classic company that makes them, those cigars?
Backwoods, Dutch Master,
Backwoods.
I
have also inhaled an entire backwood.
Backwoods tastes like the woods. It tastes like you're smoking an oak tree.
Awful. These are just terrible decisions in my early 20s, but loved smoking. We've been on record. Smoking is cool. Cigar smoking in particular, very cool. And what I do think that we should do, Josh, is the next time we're in person, we should try to find a way to film an episode while smoking a cigar.
Yes, I love that. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, great.
And I want you to be drinking a really hearty whiskey.
Yes.
And I'll be drinking a very hearty iced tea or daiquiri.
Yes.
And it'll be one for the ages.
I love it. I'm in. Before we transition, I just want to say that I had literally the best time of all time with Miss Pat on last week's episode.
Amazing.
I have to talk about her. I thought that she was just the most unbelievably hilarious woman I think we've ever had on the show. And I know that everybody agreed. Everybody loved it. Rave reviews. But shout out Mrs. Pat. Actually, this could come out earlier than Mrs. Pat. You guys, Mrs. Pat is gonna blow your socks off.
It is
Mrs. Pat is it. So when she comes out in the future or in the past, you are going to love her.
But Brian from The Office was good too.
Brian from The Office, I was thinking the same thing. We are just the guests. Come on. Those back-to-back bangers. And before that, the great Fibula, Jake Shane, Kristen Doty. I'm just saying, we are listening to our wonderful good guys morons, and we are delivering in spades.
We are delivering, and I will say, I'll give a quick update. I've heard back from the great Brooke Schofield of the canceled podcast. I really hope that's how you pronounce her last name. And she will be coming on the show when she can.
Excellent. So we will see Brooke in 2026.
They are very successful and they are very busy, and God bless them. We are big fans of them both.
Yes, absolutely. God bless them.
Quince it's incredible. What do I want? I want pieces that are high quality, things that are going to be timeless, that are classic, shirts, sweaters, pants, things that I'm going to feel great in, that I'm not going to look at in my closet in 3 months and go, well, it's time to do a thrift store run. It's time to do a donation run. No, I want a piece that's going to be good to me for the next couple of years, and that's Quince. Look, summer's here. Your wardrobe needs an upgrade. And instead of a flimsy, fast fashion haul, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to spend your money. And the truth is, you can be doing it wisely on high quality essentials that'll last beyond the season. Quince offers a range of must-have items like 100% European linen under $50, luxurious mulberry silk skirts, my favorite kind of skirt, and of course Italian leather bags and 14-karat gold jewelry from $30. Look, the truth is that I think if I went to a designer store, I would have literally probably if I'm doing a thorough haul, I'm spending high hundreds to $1,000. But with Quince, I can literally get things that are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And I was really impressed with just that you can just feel the quality in everything you're wearing. Look, upgrade your closet this summer with Quince. Right now, go to quince.com/goodguys to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's QUINCE.com/goodguys for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/goodguys. Should we go to talk about some stories, some happenings in the world?
Sure. What's happening in the world, Josh?
Well, there's the New York Post, because they do the hard-hitting stories. I never return my grocery cart at the supermarket. Haters can judge all they want. She really just can't be bothered. Really. Making a market run with the kids in tow can be a pain. From forcing fussy tots into the car to taming temper tantrums while shopping, then getting the little ones, as well as the groceries, into the back seat, it's a daunting task. Well, I'm not returning my shopping cart. Married mom of two, Leslie Dobson, a psychologist from Los Angeles, spat in an unflinching TikTok. You can judge me all you want. The stone cold psych continued explaining to her over 11 million viewers, I'm not getting my groceries into my car, getting my children into the car, and leaving them in the car to go return the cart. So if you're going to give me a dirty look, fuck off. Stunned social media spectators were wildly grossed out by Dobson's ungracious grocery etiquette.
Wow. This is interesting, Josh.
Tell me.
And I'm very happy that you brought this up, because at the beginning I was like, what are you, nuts? Lady, you're going online and you're talking about not returning your grocery cart? That's not nice. That's not nice. That said, I think young mothers deserve a pass. I think that if you have a kid two kids under the age of 2, perhaps you have to strap them into their car seats. You don't want to leave them in a car. It's not worth somebody stealing your 2 kids for you to return that cart. So this is an extreme circumstance that said the average everyday person should return their cart. It's the right thing to do. It causes problems when parking. Otherwise, you just have that rogue shopping cart in the middle of a space. But I think that it sounds to me, young mother of 2, leave the cart.
No. I have strong feelings about bringing your cart back in general when you're obviously alone without kids. You're a single person. But you know this about me. I think we need to make more small things our problem. Your shopping cart is definitely your problem.
Yes.
But as I said, if you're in your own neighborhood, and I'm not talking about something that feels like a toxic waste, that you need to call in a team to remove, but there's an empty bottle on the block of your neighborhood and you're walking, and pick it up, throw it away. Don't just assume there's someone out there to do it. Because, yeah, usually these things get solved, but it's like, it's so minor and you live there. You're part of the ecosystem of that neighborhood. But I just don't understand. I have 2 kids, a 5 and a 1-year-old, and this is just what I do, and no judgment on another mother. I will have both my kids, or in theory, in the cart, or now that my 5-year-old's too big, the 1-year-old's in the cart, the 5-year-old's here. I'll load up my stuff into the car, right? You know, I'm a big Costco guy. I love bulk. I am bulk, right? And I'll load it up. Then I will walk the cart with both kids back to the cart corral, put the cart in. I'll pick up my little guy. I'll have the hand of my son, and we'll walk to the car. Like, can't we just do that?
I think I've swung in your direction. I would agree with you. I still say mothers with young kids get a pass basically on everything in life, but I do agree with you that if we can each do a little something to make everybody's lives a little bit easier, then everybody's lives will be a little bit easier.
Well, speaking of someone who's not making people's lives any easier, the New York Post reports that terrible Zachary Quinto banned from restaurant for allegedly acting like an entitled child, making hosts cry. The Star Trek actor was blasted by a Toronto restaurant for allegedly mistreating the staff and causing a scene in front of other customers.
Nope.
It was a Mediterranean-ish bistro, and they went after Quinto because, let's see. They said that he yelled at our staff like a entitled child after he didn't reply to 2 texts to inform him his table was ready, and refused to believe the empty tables in the dining room weren't available for him despite being politely informed they were spoken for. Made our host cry and the rest of our brunch diners uncomfortable. Mr. Quinto, take your bad vibes somewhere else. Yeah.
Awful. We're on the same page on this one. You got to be nice to the people you got to be nice to people in general. But people in the food service industry have to be nice to them. There's nothing worse than somebody that yells at a waiter. Like, it's just terrible. Like, what are you doing? What are you, nuts? Also, just so you know, annoying ass who is rude to your waiter or waitress, they are actively going to spit in your food. Like, the more mean you are, the more spit will end up in your food. So take it out on somebody else.
I think you also have to like deal with the idea of you might have picked the short straw that day to deal with someone who's annoying, right? Like, I don't question, I've met quite the annoying host in my life, and more than a couple annoying waiters and waitresses who were over it. Recently, I was in New York, and I was with my wife and my great friend Brian Tenenbaum, shout out, and we go to a restaurant. And they have room for 2 right when we want to eat. But they don't have room for 3. That's not for 2 hours. So you can get a table of 2 right now. You can't get a table of 3 until 8 o'clock at night. So we go, can we just pull an extra chair up? Like, is this it's one person. And this host was just standing on ceremony. He wanted nothing to do with it. He did not watch Drake and Josh. He did not watch Oppenheimer. And he was not going to give us any special treatment. Now, I could have easily just been like, what's your problem, dude? Like, this is so easily solved. As we talked about, like, this small gesture would make me love this restaurant so much. The food's clearly great. The ambiance is great. And you're going to turn me off for like standing on ceremony here. But you know what? I'm like, he's doing his job, I suppose. It's my bad luck, and we'll go somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, I do. It sucks. It is what it is. But yeah, you can't say anything. You can't be rude to those people. You can't. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I had a moment in Chicago, by the way. I know we spoke a long time ago about the guy that gave us free Corona ices in Queens, and as a result, we needed to pay 5 times for the Corona ices because we had to tip him. And the exact same thing happened to me in Chicago. I walked in to get a cup of coffee, and I asked for a ice cold brew, some milk. She's like, "Oh, don't worry, honey, it's on me." I'm like, "God damn it! Now that it's on you, I only have a 20 in my pocket. I'm not going to ask you to break it so I can tip you. So my $6 coffee just cost me 20. Stop giving me free things. Let me pay. Let me pay.
Oh, you poor thing.
Let me pay.
You poor thing.
Should we get into another movie that I recently saw that came out 30 years ago, or are we over this?
Yes.
Yesterday, Claudia and I spent 5 hours. It wasn't a movie, it was a show, watching Chernobyl. Have you seen Chernobyl?
But it only came out a few years ago. I haven't, but I'm a huge fan of the creator of that show, Craig Mazin, who did Chernobyl and did that show, The Last of Us. He's a genius.
Chernobyl was a lot. Yeah. It was intense. It was very sad. You know the story or no?
Chernobyl?
Yeah. You know it? Okay. So sorry, Mr. Genius.
You know, it was sort of
my apologies, Mr. Genius.
You familiar with Vietnam?
Well, to those listeners that don't know what Chernobyl is, freaking terrible. Just like this poison that came from this nuclear plant just completely devastated so much of Russia. It's a crazy fucking story. And watching these, it was just so sad. Like watching these people, these firemen, these miners, these people that went in there to help save the lives of, we think, millions of people, died under the age of 40. You get this nuclear goo on your arm, and your arm literally burns off within a second. Nuclear shit is, we don't fuck with it. We don't like it. It's no good.
No, nuclear power is actually awesome. That's a problem.
Yes. Just say more.
What you can attest to in Chernobyl, what you find out is that basically every failsafe that should have been, it was a nuclear reactor meltdown.
Yes.
And every failsafe that should have been in place was not.
But do we agree, Josh, that we have humans running this, so these failsafes are bound to happen? Because human beings are idiots?
This was pretty egregious. This was just a total malfunction of all the protections that should have been in place. But yeah, I mean, there was obviously in Japan in the last 15 years, there was another nuclear reactor meltdown. But it's an amazing technology. It's pretty limitless. It doesn't put any bad shit in the air. And
until it explodes.
And every now and then it explodes, and that's a no bueno.
All I can tell you is that I immediately Googled, do we have any nuclear plants in New York? And we don't.
Well, 3 Mile Island.
Where'd you say?
Well, the 3 Mile Island, which was in New Jersey, right?
I think,
that's the famous nuclear meltdown.
But I will say, for the great people of Georgia, you guys are fucked. You have a million of them. You have
really?
Yeah, there are a lot of them. I think it was like 10. There are like 10 nuclear plants in Georgia, which I found shocking. And then, of course, I went down the rabbit hole of, okay, because the whole thing is like, oh, it's going to poison all the water and everybody's going to drink it and die. So I looked up New York tap water. New York tap water is loaded with lead.
Cute.
Just saying. Do I now give up on tap water, or I keep drinking it?
I think, hey, listen, I've had strep throat. I never met my dad. You think a little microplastics is going to bring me down? No. I take too many antidepressants to be affected by microplastics.
Okay. I'm down. So I keep drinking tap water, even though we have lead.
Lead-ish. The new show from
ABC.
ABC. Now starring Anthony Anderson. It's lead-ish.
What was the other one? There was Blackish, and then what was the second one?
Spanglish? I think that's the Adam Sandler movie.
I think there was a spin-off.
There was Mixed-ish.
Yeah, okay.
Was one?
Good show. Watched it on planes.
You know what show I recently got into? on the Paramount Plus app was SEAL Team. You ever watch that one?
No, tell me. And then also, I never asked you about your Memorial Day visiting the Navy. I want to hear about that.
Oh, yes. Well, I feel like we don't have too much time. Maybe I'll save that one for next step, just because I want to get you out by 2:42.
Okay.
But wait, what were we saying?
You were talking about SEAL Team.
SEAL Team is fun, brother. It's just, it's pretty well done. It's still like a 1 hour network drama, so it's not exactly like Chernobyl, but it's just fun. There's a mission. I like that these boys are thick, which most SEALs that I've had the pleasure and the honor of meeting have been like, they're capable. They're not like, these wafy actory types who are like, look like they're on that natural Ozempic. Like, these guys are thick as a Triscuit, and they're out there just, saving the world. Just fun.
That's the dream body for me. Thick and strong.
Yeah.
Like that I really like. Like you look at that guy and you're like, oh, he's thick. But then you feel his muscle and it's like a freaking boulder. Like that's the dream. Now I'm thick and nothing. There's nothing here. Thick and goo. But I want,
you look great,
I want thick
Ben.
and strong.
You look great, man. You really look great.
I appreciate it. But I would like that just like strong, that stomach that looks really fat, but you punch it and it's really fucking strong. That would be fun.
That can also be bad when certain guys like have the belly and it's rock hard. That means their visceral fat has become so much that their heart is on death's door.
Really?
But that's like the beer belly. Like that's not like where they're built like a keg. That's when they just have.
That's what I mean. I mean like when they're just, they have that just like layer of thickness, but it's strong thick.
Should we listen to a speak pipe?
I would love to.
Same here. This next one is from, let's see. Oh, this one is an easy one from Devin.
Mazel. I was wondering if either of you have gotten into any serious trouble with your wifeys for something that you've said or shared on the pod, if you can talk about it.
No, anytime I've ever said anything even questionable, I immediately go to Claudia and say, I said something questionable. Should I cut it? And she'll either say yay or nay. Josh?
My wife just basically called me out recently where she was like, you have a thing that you do, which is you say, my beautiful wife, my gorgeous wife, my perfect wife, and then you proceed to talk a gang of shit.
You do that.
So well said, Paige. Well said.
You do that.
If I can't do it here with our hundreds of thousands of listeners, who can I do it with? My shrink?
Totally. With our millions of listeners.
This next one is from Allison.
Hi, Josh and Ben. My name is Allison. I'm super thrilled to be leaving my first ever speak pipe with you guys. Guys were really good. I'm insanely hungover, so I'm going to try to make this as quick and painless as possible for all of us. I just tried a new cafe for the first time, and they charged me 50 cents for half and half from the teat of a hopefully gorgeously humanely treated cow. Maybe that's what I was paying for. Maybe there was a premium that I didn't necessarily agree to. But you know what? This was one of the cafes that has like, I saw pistachio milk was an option, which is like you're milking pistachios. Like it's awesome for whatever that's awesome for. But what are you, nuts? I got charged for cow's milk, and whole milk was 0 cents extra. And
weird.
I think she tried to just upsell me for the sake of upselling me, and I'm confused. Like, what is your guys' opinion on the upcharging for the various milks? I'm sorry.
That's a good question.
It is. I would say that half and half definitely goes into the general varietals
my third child
of milk. We have skim, we have whole. Honestly, there's 4: skim, whole, half and half, cream. Those 4 they come with your coffee. Right. You pay for the coffee. You want a splash of any of those 4, no problem. But as I'm thinking about it, Josh, they need to pay for the half and half, the cream, the skim, the whole, the same way that they have to pay for the almond, which we have become totally accustomed to paying for, or the oat, or the... Where do you draw the line? I think Starbucks, it's fine. Starbucks, you can order any of those milks. But, it's interesting. Half and half you shouldn't charge for it. But then why charge for the almond?
I agree with you. And you're right. If you have the fucking audacity to be charging over $6 for a beverage, okay, let's draw a line at this. And I know there are people who live in parts of the country who are like, $6? What are you nuts? But let's talk about like these annoying liberal cities. No, I'm kidding. But like, let's talk about like the bougie coffee shops where like easily just a drip coffee or an iced coffee could be $6. You get into latte macchiato territory, you're talking 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
If you have the audacity to be charging that much, milk not only needs to be assumed, but it cannot be an upsell. It cannot. If it, to your point, is a latte where 90% of the drink is, I don't know, you're having some odd pistachio milk latte thing, okay, maybe then I get it if you're talking about an expensive milk. But other than that, if we're talking about a splash, 55 cents for a splash?
It's highway robbery. It's absolutely nuts. It's completely unacceptable. Josh, quickly before we move on from coffee, I recently discovered, I think, a new favorite drink. I did a mobile order on Starbucks, went to pick up my order. I don't know if you've done that, but it's a fantastic hack.
It's the best.
Accidentally picked up somebody else's coffee. It happens. It looked like mine. His name was Brian instead of Ben. I take a sip. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was chai. And I'm just here to tell you, I love chai.
Oh, me too, babe.
I'm now getting 2-3 shots of chai in my coffee. I absolutely love the flavor. I think it's delicious. It reminds me of the holiday season. And that's all. I just wanted to share that I have a new beverage, which is chai shots in a really, really nice iced coffee.
If we have an Indian spinoff to our pod, are we the chai guys or are we good chais?
Ooh. Chai guys.
Chai guys. Love that.
In.
Wow. Love it. Wow. We just took over Southeast Asia.
In.
I see us in Delhi doing a meetup.
And I see us in the deli.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we do a collab. We bring Delhi to Delhi.
Oh my God. The chai guys bring Delhi to Delhi. My mind is exploding.
I don't know if I'm ready to be this rich. Should we get to our What Are You Nuts?
Yes, we should.
What Are You Nuts is a part of our show where we talk about our gripes with people, places, and things that are sticking in our craw, both big and small, whatever's grinding our gears at this point and time. I gotta start, and it's very simple. Hey, if the waiter comes over and you've been sitting for longer than 10 minutes at the restaurant, be ready. What are you nuts? I was watching a couple the other day. They must have been on quite the date. This poor waiter came over 3 times. Hi, so you ready to put in your order? Oh my God, we haven't even... No, we haven't looked yet. Are you ready? Do you know? I don't know. No, we haven't looked. Can we have a few more minutes? This poor waiter must have been figuring out a way to poison their food because it's just like, I get it. You sit down, maybe there's an overzealous waiter. You know me, I'm a parent and a heathen. So I'll sit down, they'll be like, can I get you a drink? I'll be like, how about my entree? I'm ready to go. I've already looked at the menu in the car on the way. But listen, maybe one time you send the waiter away. That waiter comes by a second time, be ready to order. What are you, nuts?
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. That is a great one, Josh.
Thank you.
The other day, I'm walking my beautiful new furry son, Romeo, because my old furry son, Theo, is dead in the ground. My new furry son, Romeo, on the streets of Manhattan. And across, I don't know, or right in front of us, maybe 6 to 8 feet, there's a steaming pile of shit. Like huge shit. But I see it. I'm walking with Romeo. All of a sudden, this guy to my left looks at me and screams, "Watch out!" And the way that I stood up like I was like about to be attacked by like somebody with a knife. He's like, "There's a huge pile of shit in front of you. Watch out." I'm like, "What are you, nuts? I saw it. I'm right in front of it. There was no need for this watch out. No need to scream at me and scare me so that I made my own pile of shit in my own undies. We saw the pile of shit. There were no issues. You created an issue. The hysteria's got to stop. What are you, nuts?"
Love it. Make the hysteria stop.
I guess that's the
love
nuts.
that.
You have no idea. I was so spooked.
You're right.
I was freaking spooked. And you just can't yell, "Watch out" in New York unless there's something really to watch out for, like a swerving car, right?
Right.
Or a guy with a machete or something. Like, New York is crazy. So if you yell "watch out," it's crazy. It's not there's a pile of shit in front of you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Guys podcast. Go for it, Ben. Take us home.
I guess that's our show. Yeah. You can catch us Mondays and Thursdays, folks. Double the fun. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, watch us on Josh's YouTube so you can see us interact, having a great time. Even if you listen to us, you should still watch us just because it's fun. Listen to it twice. Why not? Share our clips. Follow us on Good Guys, TikTok. We're blowing up on the talk, Josh. We are just blowing up. TikTok,
China loves us.
TikTok, Instagram. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.